Welcome to another trip recap recently taken on my cargo bike. My partner in crime on her Salsa Timberjack. This time we went straight up the highest peak on the East Coast via the Blue Ridge Parkway, looping back on gravel roads and smooth rolling county roads, totaling right around 100 miles and about 11,000 feet of elevation gain. We didn't finish the full loop, but I'll get into that later. We started with a hotel stay in Asheville to get an early start the next day. A walkabout through the city and some rad food and beers were on the itinerary. Rockgeist Bags, who lives here, let us leave our car at the workshop for the week. Thanks, Rockgeist. They also put this route together, which I'll link below. Feeling fresh and doe-eyed, the first day started with a climb out of town, interrupted by some awesome views. Lunch and plentiful stretch and snack breaks kept us chugging along on a cool but sunny day. We got into a groove and were stoked on the route at this point, but the hardest part of the day, an 1,100-foot climb over 3.5 miles, would leave us very humbled and excited for a warm dinner and sleep. The farther we rode, the closer the clouds got, until after a few more quick water and snack breaks, we were in Cloud City. Arriving at camp was a sight for sore legs. We were greeted by a fuzzy friend at our site, and a sunset through the clouds. A fire and a smooch kept us warm at these high Appalachian elevations, and we luckily made it to bed right before the rain. The following morning's view is hard to put into words, but that's what cameras are for. So after a camp coffee and a bumblebee visitation, I whipped out my K1000 to remember it better later on, though also grainier. Day 2 started with probably my favorite part about bike camping in the mountains, which is the part where the downhill is always worth the uphill. We bypassed the Blue Ridge Parkway via South Toe River Road, a winding gravel descent which was closed to car traffic at the time. The climb back out was only a little bit almost not worth it. After a creekside lunch break of some mac and cheese on Curtis Creek, we arrived in Old Fort, where we would be camping for the night. A resupply stop at Frisbee's Galaxy and some fancy coffees later, we made our way down to Catawba Falls Campground for some creekside chillin', relaxation, and fireside fun. I want to be, she may be. Why take a cargo bike camping? For firewood transport, of course. Where I want to be, she may be way down. The third day, we made some more coffee, ran a small load through the camp drying machine, and leisurely packed up camp. A flat and smooth county road led us out of town, up the Fauna Flora Trail, where we would later descend into the town of Black Mountain, then catch the parkway back into the city, or so we thought. At this point, we were pretty tired, and though most of the roads were welcoming with friendly or indifferent drivers, all it takes is 1 or 2 or 3 impatients to make you stop having fun. We pulled off the Southern Parkway section around Biltmore after a close encounter of the shitty kind. I grabbed a rideshare to snag our car a few miles away, and Kelly waited with the bikes. After breaking down the gear and loading up the car, we made it to our final campsite, a tent at Powhatan Lake with a real-life bed and nearby showers. I'm not saying we couldn't have finished the route safely, just that sometimes when you stop having fun, there's no shame in calling it quits. And luckily, we were close enough to the end and could bail ourselves out. The final fire and dinner of the night were a good cherry on top of an already awesome trip, and though I'll try and steer clear of certain sections of roads around here, I'll be back to ride more single-track, gravel roads, and scenic byways. I'd love to see you get the heat. 'Cause we've got Oh yeah, and I'll definitely be bringing my 35mm film camera again. I forgot how much fun that is.
But he smiled because he knew I didn't understand exactly what he meant by a help.
Thanks for letting me tell you about this episode of Bike Camping on a Cargo Bike. Thanks for sticking around until the end, and I hope you can take your own bike trip or find yourself outside somewhere cool in the near future. We'll see you in the next one.